Welcome to How to Cake It. I'm Yolanda, and this week I'm gonna cake a cake. Thank you to TrueKey by Intel Security for sponsoring and collaborating on this video. Definitely check out my cameo in their 1 in 7 billion music video, which is out now. There's a link in the description below. How are you 1 in 7 billion? I think the thing that's most unique about me is that I want to turn everything I see into cake, and that I talk to watermelons. I'd say that was it, definitely. The first step is to get all of the cakes that I baked to make this cake of cakes out of their pans. I baked 6 pounds of my coconut cake, 6 pounds of my chocolate cake, and 4 pounds of my vanilla cake. All of the measurements and the pans I used are in the blog post for this video. The link is in the description below. I level all of my cakes except for my tin can chocolate cake. I'll get to that one later. And I cut my 10-inch pink vanilla and chocolate cake into 2 layers each. Now it's time for Sir Squeeze-A-Lot to do his job and simple syrup all these cakes. I'm going to start assembling my coconut raspberry cake with coconut buttercream and raspberry jam. You can get the recipe below. To fill this cake, I need to pipe a border of buttercream around the edge of each layer before spreading the jam inside. And then I'm going to spread the coconut buttercream on top of the jam. Now this is really tricky because the jam wants to move around, so spread it very lightly, even pipe it on if you need to. Pop this baby in the fridge before I crumb coat it. I'll get back to it though. Now I'm gonna move on to assembling my pink and chocolate cake. I'm gonna alternate layers, pink chocolate, with Italian meringue buttercream between. If you wanna watch me walk you through making Italian meringue buttercream step by step, there's a video for you right here. This pink and chocolate cake is ready to be crumb coated with more buttercream and chilled. Now I need to crumb coat my bundt cake, which is actually baked in a brioche pan. This takes a little more attention to detail because you have to move your spatula in and out all of the scalloped edges.
That's like a dance move.
Oh, did you? This is my new move. I've never done this one. Remember that little chocolate tin can cake? It's actually going to be a cupcake. Yes, I could have just baked a cupcake, but I'm caking a cake. So I flip my little tin can cake over, and then I cut it on an angle to get that cupcake look, and then I crumb coat it and put it in the fridge to chill. Oh, we forgot about the coconut raspberry because it didn't get crumb coated, right? So I took it back out, crumb coated it, and now it can chill with the rest of the cakes. Should we put a camera in the fridge?
We should.
We should.
And see what they do.
Yeah. They're like, did she crumb coat you? I see a spot. Let me see your crumb coat. Let me see your, oh, you have jam? Oh, I didn't get jam. As usual, I'm going to ice all of my cakes one more time, give them a nice smooth icing, and then put them in the fridge to chill again. They're like, oh, you look better now. I know, I just got iced. You guys have seen me cake a lot of things, but can I cake a cake? Can I use fondant to make cake look like cake? I'm gonna try. I'm gonna cover my first cake, the chocolate and pink cake, in pink fondant. I roll it to 1/8 of an inch and drape it over the cake, smoothing it with a fondant smoother. I cover my coconut raspberry cake in a nice buttery yellow fondant, the same way I did my pink cake. I cover my chocolate bundt cake in chocolate fondant. I thought that would be the hardest one, but it was harder to ice than covering fondant.
So you handle those grooves like a boss.
Oh, I just worked those grooves. I smoothed it out.
Oh, that's the next dance move.
Smoothed. To cover my cupcake cake, I rolled out the same yellow fondant. I cut out a circle to fit the bottom of the cupcake. Then I cut a band of fondant, one edge with a straight knife and the other edge with a ravioli cutter, so it would look, like a cupcake paper. Then I wrapped that around the cupcake with the scalloped edge up and cut a clean seam at the back. To create the indents just like a cupcake paper would have, I used a sharp knife and a ruler. Guess what? Always looking for a ruler opportunity. And I just sort of pressed them in, held it in my hand and pressed them in all the way around the cupcake. To make this cupcake paper extra special, I'm gonna paint it gold, like gold foil. I mix a little gold luster with food grade alcohol and paint away. Time to decorate my chocolate and pink cake. I roll out some white fondant really thin, drape it over my cake, and smooth it just halfway down. And then I made myself a template and I used that to cut a scalloped edge all along the top of the cake. I'm gonna further embellish this scallop with some fondant ropes. I just glue them on with a little bit of water, and now it's looking very traditional. Now that I've decorated this cake, I'm gonna cut it. I'm hungry. I feel like a slice. This will give us that awesome look of a cut cake, plus I have this slice to decorate.
You're gonna cake a slice of cake?
I'm gonna cake a slice of cake. I'm gonna put my slice aside and I'm gonna decorate the inside of the cut. I basically wanna recreate the look of the inside of this cake using fondant, pink and brown strips and white strips for the filling to look exactly like it looks inside.
So basically you're just making it look exactly like it already looks.
Yeah, I'm caking cake. What is not clear about this? I can't show them cake in my cake. I have to cake the cake. I basically have to do what I just did, but on the outside of the slice. Okay, I'm moving on to my coconut raspberry cake. This cake is meant to look like an open-faced cake with filling just oozing out the side. I want the outside to look like the inside looks. To create the icing on the top of this cake, I roll some fondant into a circle, and then I kind of cut a bit of like a wavy pattern. I want it to look like it was spread on. You know what I mean? I'm caking a cake. Get with it. I apply the tubes of fondant with a bit of water. I do the white first, 2 layers, and then I actually flip my cake over and do the red underneath. I wanted my bundt cake to look like a rich chocolate bundt cake with a nice pink icing drizzle. So I rolled out some pink fondant really thin, draped it on top. With a sharp knife, just cut it as if it was drizzling down. This bundt cake is full of actions. First it was this, then it was this, and now it's this. It's like the best cake I've ever made. I need to add the lovely buttercream swirl to my cupcake, but out of fondant. I'm not making a cupcake, I'm caking a cupcake. So I take some white fondant, roll it into like a thick tube, and then I add it to the top of the cupcake, just swirling it around and around, and so that it doesn't collapse, I throw like a ball of fondant in the middle, all the way around. It looks so pretty. Looks like perfect piping. It's time to assemble this entire cake of cakes. I begin by placing my 10-inch layer onto my prepared pretty cake board, and then I dowel that cake and place my coconut raspberry cake on top. Next, I dowel the coconut raspberry cake and place my bundt cake on top. Cake on cake on cake. The instructions are right here. This is the best. I should have just sat here like this. Then I dowel my bundt cake and place my slice of cake on top. Dowels are food safe. In fact, they are called cake dowels and necessary when a cake is heavy and tiered. You don't want your cake to collapse.
There is no collapsing cakes on How to Cake It.
This is not how to collapse it. This is our alternate channel. Check out how not to cake it. On my traditional cake, I wanted to include what looked like a piped border. So I used some white candy beads and royal icing and just glued them all along the bottom edge of that cake, and as well as the bottom edge of the slice. Then I added the larger pearl balls to the top of the cake to really make it look traditional. Now I'm using raspberry candies and I'm gonna place them on top of my coconut raspberry cake. My bundt cake needs sprinkles, so I made purple sprinkles out of fondant, let them dry, and glued them on with a little bit of piping gel. Wasn't tedious at all. I'm gonna cut out some teardrop shapes of white fondant and glue them on to look like, you know when you cut a cake and the icing runs down? That was what I was going for. Do you know when you get like a grocery store cake and it has those like piped flowers?
A grocery store cake?
What are those? grocery store piped flowers with fondant.
I'm surprised you even let yourself look at one.
I try not to, but sometimes I'm in a situation where they are brought. I go to other people's parties and they're there, and people always ask me like, are you okay with eating this? Literally, people ask me these questions. I'm like really excited about my strawberry idea because I used strawberry marshmallows and then I made the stems from some green gum paste and I glued them on top of the marshmallow. I poked a little hole and I put them in and they're adorable. This is like a tease to the strawberry cake that I am gonna do. It's time to add the cupcake to the cake of cakes. The caked cupcake to the cake of cakes.
Say that 5 times fast, yo.
Caked cupcake to the cake of cakes. Caked cupcakes to the cake. Like, I already lost. And then I put the cherry on top. But not a real cherry. I caked a cherry. Naturally. I love this cake. You know what I love the most about this cake? I don't have to cut a slice to eat it because I already did that.
I don't know, I missed that though.
Get over it.
It's
It's already perfectly cut. Do not forget to subscribe to this channel. I'm on my way to 2 million by July 21st. And don't forget to check out my Facebook. There will be a time lapse of me caking cake because you don't even want to know how long it took. I think we should just do a time lapse and instead of the numbers, be like a long Thank you again to TrueKey by Intel Security for sponsoring and collaborating on this vid. Be sure to check out my cameo in their 1 in 7 billion music video. It's out now. Yes, Walter's in it too. I feel like he stole the show a little. And share what makes you unique at 1in7billion.com because we all have something. Yeah, aren't we gonna talk about my uniqueness? I'm half Grenadian and half German and I've never met another person with that combo. If it's you, let me know. I collect peppermills and rulers and teacups. Nothing geeky. Oh, Marilyn Monroe books. Oh, that's one of my favorite collections. Oh, cake stands. Oh my gosh. How could I forget that?
All right, we're done, yo. We're done.
We're done?
We're done.
We're done caking cakes.
We're done caking cake.
And listing collections.
Cake on cake on cake.
Cake on cake on cake. Period.